And here comes the intro in 3, 2, 1.
The World of Warcraft podcast, so you don't have to. This is the instance.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Instance. This is The Instance, episode 559. It is May 24th, 2019. I'm Scott Johnson, joined today by a long-forgotten voice of The Instance. No, not Randy Deluxe. It's Terpster.
Oh, wouldn't that be good, though? Oh, no. Now I'm disappointed.
Now you're disappointed. Look, for episode 1000, we'll get everybody together. We can get Andrew from back in the day.
Yeah. It's me, Randy. Talks very slow.
I don't know if it's that slow, but it's pretty slow. You're right. It's good to have you back, sir. How are you? You doing all right?
It's good to be back, yeah. It's fine. I've been, it's not been that long, has it? It's only been like 100 episodes.
Well,
it's
let's
fine.
see. It was
I got a little warning come up on my phone, and it said that all of my life insurance benefits were going to lapse if I didn't clock in again. And I was like, oh no. So I just thought I'd come along.
Yeah, it feels like it's been since like Immortal. The mess of Immortal.
And that's the thing. I hope Blizzard's paid attention to my protest, and they've said we're going to make it a good mobile experience now. No, price gouging, microtransaction stuff in there.
You're right.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll come back then.
All right. Well, we're glad to be the recipient of your the end finally of your strike. We can cross the line.
My dirty protest. Yeah. Yes.
Your Brexit is over. Also with us, Patrick Beja from France, who is now babyless. Well, you still have a baby, but you don't have him in your arms anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not in my arms anymore. He might still be crying, though. So I am neglecting my parental duties to be on the instance, which I think is an absolutely fair trade.
Wow. What a sacrifice.
It's noise-cancelling headphones. Like, genuinely. Like, parenting used to be a real chore, and then I got those.
Yeah. It fixed everything for you. It's all good now.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
I just listened to very vulgar rap while changing my child's diaper.
Yeah, there you go. That sounds like a terrible combination. But speaking of things that are not terrible combinations, it's Garrett Weinzierl from Florida. Hello, Garrett.
Hello, everyone. This is a stacked show.
This is a stacked show. Everybody's here, and this is
we have Buff Terpster. That's an incredible.
Oh yeah, can we talk about that for a second? Just for a second. So. While the rest of us,
like thrall in the fields, in the shitty fields of Nagrand, we have found the thickest, fittest Terpster we've ever seen.
Happened.
Yeah, I don't. Here's my thing. We're all languishing in our fatty states while you continue to I don't know, do whatever you're doing, becoming the Rock number 2.
I wouldn't go myself fat.
Well, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't go that far, Scott.
Well, hang on.
I wouldn't call any of us fat, but none of us are firm. Like I'm looking at this firm Terpster, going, man.
I'm not that firm. It's I'm on a journey.
I don't know.
Scott,
your Instagram makes it seem like you're quite firm.
Yeah.
I haven't touched you in a while.
Welcome to the newly launched 3 soft boys and a Brit.
Yep.
It's our new podcast. There's on Fridays.
Yeah, I like it.
There's always BlizzCon. Let's not rule anything out. I play slightly less Hearthstone than I used to, and do slightly more press ups than I used to.
Yeah,
it's there is a correlation.
That's been the trade.
So today I was watching the Hearthstone Grandmasters on an exercise bike. And I was saying, like, I was pretending the salty sweat dripping off of me was salty tears from just the absolute bullshit RNG that some of these matches, like, people won who otherwise shouldn't have won. It's Hearthstone, it's good. But yeah, and I think
Hearthstone's new format.
Yeah,
exactly. Oh, it's very. Anyway, I'm sure we'll talk about it later. But I think the whole gamers. I think we make good gym people.
Yeah.
We're all about incremental progression.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
Do you feel like you've gamified it? Does it feel gamified for you as you do it?
Yeah, in my head, definitely. Yeah. It's basically grinding at this point.
All right.
Which is why I'm actually banned from a lot of gyms. It's the same Same thing.
Great. You're grinding on the equipment, not allowed.
You've only got to look at old Holinka. You know, he's made of just sinew now. The man hasn't got any fat left on him.
No, I know. That was shocking, because when we saw him prior to his workout, or to his complete overall physical change, you know, he's like the rest of us, a little pudgy, a little, you know, soft on the edges or whatever. And then a year later, Holinka is Hunklinka. Like, he's just like this disgustingly.
He's B iron.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize this. They're giving too much credit to the animation team. They just put a thrall mask on Holinka and shot that scene in live action.
Exactly.
That's what they did. Yeah, they just put a little green paint.
Yeah, that's right.
Paint on
exactly.
Thist in the chat
but the
says,
thing is, like, genuinely,
Swolinka.
I think that you know, if you get the opportunity to do more exercise, you know, go for it.
Yeah.
It's helped me a lot in terms of just crippling depression, Scott. Real debilitating depression.
Wow.
But it's fine. I'm on the other side now.
Okay.
And it's
Jeez.
Wait,
I like that. I feel
are you
like
serious?
it,
You're, I don't know if you're joking. Were you really depressed?
I wasn't that bad. No, but I definitely was about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly in terms of the way I looked and the energies I had, and having like young kids, like you kind of get a wake up call in terms of like how much energy they have and need you to have to look after them. So I think it's something everyone should consider, seeing what they're capable of, and then you see, you know, like I said, you've got you know, Brian at the top there as just a guiding angel, that one day, you know, we can hope to sit at the same table as him and not eat, because that's not what we do here.
Yeah.
You know, it's
You don't want to fly too close to the sun, though. Or else
exactly.
Yeah, be a melty, sweaty Holinka.
No, exactly. But the thing is, you know, BlizzCon's a long way away. It's like November. I'm going to eat a lot of potatoes in between then and now. So don't worry about it. It's going to be good.
Okay.
It's going to be good. Just set your expectations. Manage your expectations. Classic comes out August 27. I'm going to do a before picture, and then I'm going to do a picture a month after Classic.
Yeah.
And we'll see what the
you have
effects
to have
of...
the full experience of Classic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You really have to go
already. I've got a 17-inch CRT monitor. I'm looking into. I've got my Microsoft IntelliMouse. You know, I'm ready to play it properly.
I can't believe those things.
Really good.
Isn't it weird that those things are now they're all sounding old now? That shouldn't sound that old. A CRT 17-inch shouldn't be that old.
I still
but
have
it is.
My MacBook Pro, which the integrated graphics card, actually the soldering on it melted and bricked my computer because I played too much WoW on it.
Yeah, that was a common thing with Mac
it is
players.
still in my
then.
closet. It still kind of boots up.
Yeah. Do you keep it because you're like, this is the one that WoW melted?
Pretty much. I keep it to remind myself to never buy another Apple product.
Oh wow, that's look at you putting a stick in the sand.
Except for phones, because I refuse to learn a new phone interface.
Well, there you go. everything but their flagship product they sell the most of. Yeah.
I've got morals, but I also have a limited amount of time to learn.
Well, they got me. So. They got me bought in on the phone. And, you know, it's really.
This is like every time Blizzard makes a class change, I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Well, I'm angry, but not angry enough to actually do anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna play this game with this character I don't like. All right. Well,
no, I stuck to my morals on that. I still haven't gone back to my DK.
Well, there you go. Oh, good. Oh, you still haven't. It's been a while then for that DK.
Yeah. Since the second round of raiding in Legion.
He's languishing. Wow. Is what he's doing. All right. Well, we can talk about that.
No, he's already dead.
Is he? Okay, good.
It's fine.
We'll talk about that and more. But a lot of Classic this week, so let's do it. The stress test initial one happened, came and went. I know that a lot of us played. Did everyone play? Patrick, did you play?
No, I was not invited. Apparently, I am not worthy of Blizzard's love.
Wow.
I guess.
You're on you're on some permanent list of like, hey, he used to work here, therefore always gets betas. Doesn't that work that way?
Yeah, no, that doesn't. I mean, I could
not when
complain,
you burn bridges like Patrick does.
I could complain, but to be honest, I've been not bitching, but saying I'm not going to play Classic so much that I feel it would be unfair for me to get in beta instead of someone who would actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I'm not too miffed.
Yeah, maybe
but,
somebody
to a little bit of an extent, I'm like, I guess that's it. My clout with Blizzard has ended. It was worth 5 years, and now that's it. I'm done. I'm not going to get any preferential treatment, which obviously means I hate everything they do now.
Yeah, of course.
You can be honest now, finally.
Yeah.
Patrick's the one voice on this shill show where he can honestly call it as it is.
Yeah. No more back pocket for Patrick. Front pocket for him.
The only one of us to actually get paid by Blizzard is the only one that sticks it to the Blizzard man.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that.
Well,
Blizzard man.
I mean, Terpster has.
I've been paid a few times. Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but much more seedy. Like much more seedy. Yeah. Yeah, I paid taxes on it, but that's about as legal as it gets.
Well, don't we all? I would say that it's been an interesting week because it kind of has separated in my head the players or the people that really are excited for Classic versus those who are not. I am one of those who, much like Patrick, don't think that Classic is really for me. I feel like I'm a lot of done that, been there kind of attitude about it, but I did install it and I did play it for a while, and I didn't get very far because I was immediately reminded of all the stuff that isn't there now that I actually like about a game that has progressed and built on itself and increased in capability and ease of use and that sort of stuff. So, for example, I cranked out a dwarf because I thought this will be fun. Let's do a dwarf. And we get the whole intro and the camera flying around the Dunmurrow stuff and all that, and it's real ugly and terrible vanilla looking, and that's great because that's what we want, right? We want old 2004 level stuff. I get it. It's widescreen, so I guess there's that, but it looks pretty bad, and it comes down to my little character man, and he's fine. He runs fine. He's running to take some quests, and he gets one. And then I immediately realize, oh, right, they don't mark stuff on your map for this back in the day. You had to go find it. And I went, I don't like that very much. And I walked around a little bit more, and then I kind of got out. So I've not played a ton because it's hard for me to, really drop all the pretense and say, yeah, I like it when it was new and they hadn't built upon it yet, because what I really do like about WoW is what they've built upon it. So Terpster, you're the opposite. You're you were a teenager when you started playing this game. So you're back to your you're bringing your youth back. And I'm a
teenager again, honestly. It takes me back. The things that I love about Classic are the forced social interaction that you have due to the nature of the game. So I have to talk to someone to get something. If I want to make a group, I've got to communicate with people. I can't just go in a menu. If I'm struggling on a quest, where do I do this thing? I'm trying to play it and not go to Wowhead, or if they put it back out, they've got the whole of Alakazam and Thoughtbot. But I'm trying to do it all in game, and I love it. Already, I've made more friends, or at least pleasant people I've met in the week or so I've been playing Classic than in the past 2 years of playing WoW normally. It's by increasing the friction or removing the lubrication around social interaction, it really does make it a vastly different experience. So the quality of life things, I hear you. It's frustrating at times, but that is kind of what it was about. And I'm not going to race world first level 60. I want to hit level 60 in the first 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. I think I can do it. I want to be able to go and do Onyxia. I want to do Molten Core. I want to be able to do these things that I used to do, and I already know how to do. The muscle memory was already coming back with my warrior. I was just rolling around. I mean, I've only got 4 abilities. I'm level 10. But, it's easy to play. It all makes sense to me because I understood it then, and I kind of understand it now. Resistances are back. It's weird opening up your character panel and just seeing all of the, oh yeah, Resistance. Do you remember Resistance? It's very much hey, remember Mary? Yeah. Lots of member berries everywhere.
Are you actually gonna go farm your fire resist to go to Molten Core?
I want to do Ubers. Do the whole thing.
Really?
Because I that is, for me, that's the WoW I loved and know. I'm very excited about current WoW and all the story, where we're going after Najatar and the Black Empire and all of those progressive things. but holy moly, does it feel good to be back. And, like the odds are reset. It's no longer on a cosmic or global scale. I'm fighting kobolds again, and it feels good. They feel scary. There's some kobolds out there. Whew.
Yeah, every kobold fight can be the end of your life. But also, are you enjoying the 10 yards or so that you can see in front of you, but no further? Do you like that? Is that a nice feature?
I feel like that, to be honest with you, I feel like that's one of my issues I have with Classic. Is it looks way better than it did.
Oh, the draw distance is totally further than it was.
Yeah, but how much?
It's like how they've adapted it for widescreen. The draw distance is, I think, it might be what it currently is in the live game.
Yeah. Like it's far better, and obviously I've got way better hardware than I had then. But you can press the classic button, and it makes the settings kind of it's kind of like classic. But like we've been like internally, we only play now in 4x3. Like you have to have the original experience, and genuinely the more you kind of force yourself into that, as much as it sounds kind of really kind of obtuse, it genuinely does make it more fun, I think. It feels like this is more of an experience. This is that kind of time capsule. Will I be playing it 10 years from now without any progression? I doubt it. If they put out Wrath of Lich King, would I play it? Oh, yes. I feel like
oh man,
there's going to be times in classic future history whereby kind of it's going to hit someone's sweet spot and they're going to be like, oh no, I'm definitely going to go back and give it a go here. So I think that's the bigger challenge, is how do they maintain the ability to drop in without compromising the integrity? Because throughout the whole time, it's been very much like, no, it will be, you want it as classic, you will get it as classic. It's like, oh yeah, there's this bug. That bug was there. You will have this bug. It's like, there were people, like when we logged in on the first day, they're like, hey, you can like walk under Stormwind again. Do you remember there was this thing and you could go under the map? It's like, yep, that's classic. So it's there. It's crazy. It's crazy.
But here's the thing though, like, if they keep, I know we know nothing about what they plan to do after this, other than they say, well, right now you're just getting classic and everything classic intended, which is vanilla.
So much of it hangs on how successful classic is, and we don't even know what they're going to use as a metric for its success.
Well, the metric is what? Subscriptions go up overall, I guess?
Yeah. No, I guess you're right. That's a pretty simple metric. Like, hey, if more subs are sticking around than usual, or maybe we actually had an uptick, that's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, or they'll see those numbers go up, but they'll know who's logged into what, right, Patrick? Like,
exactly. They're going to see who's actually logging into WoW Classic, and if that's enough people, then they're going to keep doing it.
But if they keep adding to it, if they keep dropping expansions, here's the problem: you do eventually catch up. It's only 8 times, and you're there.
Well, they could do rolling stuff. I think it's fine. And I think like by Cataclysm, people, although if it's in 4 or 5 years, by Cataclysm, people will yearn for mists, I suppose.
Yeah.
But there are definitely going to be, there was this, I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but the list of bugs that aren't actually bugs.
Oh, we totally can. This is great.
Incredibly funny.
I love this list so much.
Yeah. It's we can actually go through this.
So for those who don't know.
Yeah, go ahead, explain it.
So for those who don't know, there was a number of things that people thought were bugs that were being reported so much that Blizzard had to actually release a list of those things and say, no, those are not bugs, they're expected features. And it's really fun things like the rate of health regain after fight is normal. Like, it's normal that it takes you half a minute or a minute to regain your whole health. Things like that we old timers know that is completely normal for Classic, but that these youngins were not aware of. It was so funny to realize that a lot of people who, said they wanted Classic, we suspect, went in and, didn't expect it to be this quote unquote bad.
Yeah.
So it was really funny for all of us to see. And a lot of people, myself included, took a little bit of unhealthy glee in seeing, those kids, they don't realize what WoW really was. Like, where is your god now? Like you didn't really want it. Yeah. But to be fair, if we're being honest, there are certainly some people that thought it would be cool to get Classic, and who in the end are not going to enjoy it because of all of these things. But there are also a lot of people who genuinely like Terpster, really enjoy it, and that's great. That's fine. The big question now.
I really didn't think I would.
Yeah,
and
I think there are a few people in that camp.
Like at BlizzCon, it was level 15. It was Westfall, one of the worst zones, and I just had no emotional resonance.
I love Westfall.
No, genuinely, go and play it. Like you'll be like,
I did. I'm not in the beta, so my only freaking experience with it was the damn BlizzCon demo. Hey, Blizzard, I'd like a beta, please.
I thought you had one. Why did I think you had one? Oh.
No, I do not have one. Right, I got into the stress test and couldn't log in. That has been my experience this time around. All I did was play the BlizzCon demo. No, I love Westfall because Dead Mines, although a lot of nostalgia, Dead Mines was the first 5-man I did, and I remember going out to Westfall as a night elf, so I had to trek my butt all the way out there and questing out there. And I got the chicken pet. It was my first non-combat pet, and I remember doing the freaking grain and everything. Like I have so many memories.
For Westfall. I got a question.
Blanchy, I still got a pouch. It's great. It's one of my favorite bags.
I have a question. Like Terpster, we'll get back to these bugs in a second, but how far are you? Like, are you going to go very far because it's beta and they're going to wipe it? And
beta is capped at 30. I've left my warrior at like 10, 11 or something like that.
Yeah.
I've played a few different dudes. We're going to stream it more at work and stuff, so it's like I get the excuse to play lots of different characters.
Yeah.
But I don't want to kind of race to 30 or the cap. The thing is that 30 you don't have all the talents unlocked. You don't have mount skill still. As a warrior or paladin, you're still in mail armor. You're not in plate. There's kind of lots of things that aren't there that kind of get better. But equally, because I do want to play it at release, I don't really want to experience it all again and get all of that now. But yeah, like I said, I feel like on the premise of actually having social interactions, that is what this game is. This is, and that kind of, if I'm really honest, it's kind of what WoW was, which was like the best version of MSN Messenger. It was like, it was just this great shared chat channel where you can talk to people, you can go and, I've got years and years of continual time on my /played. Probably half of that is sat idling in Ironforge or Orgrimmar, chatting to people.
So are you going to... I have a question. There are going to be mods, right? Everything is as it was, so there are going to be the old mods that come back, including mods that give you the quest tracker and stuff like that we were all using.
Yes.
So I wonder how you feel about that. Are you going to install them, or how much
not first time through
are you going to make your life, I guess?
Yeah, no, I think first time through I don't want to do that. I'll have damage meters and deadly boss mods and stuff like that are useful for like raid encounters and dungeons and things that I feel like that's kind of part of the experience. But for questing, like I prefer not blasting through it. Like for me, there's a quest in as a gnome and dwarf. We have to explore Frostmane Hold or something like that. And it's all of these trolls in a cave, and they are clumped tight together.
Yeah, I remember
it's
this.
inside a cave. You aggro people. There's a roaming like level 12 like elite that's going through. It's brutal, and the graveyard is back at Casmodan or whatever the Anvilmar, the city where you kind of start after going out of Damaro, and so you just have like a 4-minute corpse run, and then you res up, you quickly try and eat something to get your health back, but you've already aggroed a guy. You get him down low, he runs off. You try and chase him down, but he's already aggroed his friend. You're dead again.
It sounds terrible.
Exactly.
Terrible.
But that's the thing, is that's kind of the point. That it's not meant to be a checklist of things. These are quests. These are trials. These are achievements. And when you finally find which point in that cave has the quest trigger to explore Frostmane Hold, holy crap, is that a good feeling of I'm done. Finally. Finally I'm done.
I guess so.
I think it's so analogous.
Go ahead, Garrett.
I was gonna say, surprise! I have a car analogy, but it's so analogous to you could use cars, you could use freaking vinyl records. Like to the people who are really nerdy about driving manual transmissions versus automatic transmission cars, or the people that would rather spend the time to put a record on and drop the needle instead of just telling Alexa to play whatever freaking song they want to hear. Yeah, it's not for all of us, but for the people that really enjoy it, they're very passionate about it. And there's something about the ritual, and there's something about the extra time that it takes and the extra feeling of accomplishment that you get. Whether you from the outside looking in see it as an accomplishment or not, it's something that like really breeds fandom.
Yeah, I completely agree. I can easily see how this drives me up a wall, but it is totally for other people. And also it's timing. Like,
are there enough people like me who will enjoy it?
Yeah,
to make it
that's
worth
the big
Blizzard's
question.
while
That is a
to
good
continue developing it.
Well, I mean,
there's a ton of people that will enjoy it. And by the way they're doing it is so genius, monetary wise, because since it's included in the existing subscription, everyone who wants to play it has to pay full price. But it's okay because you get both games, quote unquote. So that's really clever. But there are certainly lots of people who will like it. How much is enough for them to keep at it? I have no idea.
I have no idea how expensive it is.
There's certainly going to be a few 100,000 people who will like it.
Sure.
I doubt there's going to be a lot more than 200,000-300,000, which is a lot, but
it's still a decent.
And we'll never know. That's the frustrating thing.
Yeah, we're never going to know.
Never know.
They're never going to say. I mean, if it ends up cresting it, like if they get a bump in 2-3 million subs because of it, we'll hear about it. Then we'll hear about it, but they're not going to tell us otherwise if it's just like us,
But the thing is, the bump is going to be when they launch it. The important thing is how many people play for longer than that.
Right.
Yeah. How many people are still playing after a month or two.
Yeah, and if they have a bump in paid subs, how many of those paid subs are still there 6 months later is going to be the big thing.
Exactly. I mean, we saw them hit 11 million in Lich King, or whenever it was. It exponentially rose as time went on.
Right.
Are we going to see that across Classic? I imagine we'll see a drop-off after a while because people would try it, realize, oh, wow, this is full on, and then stop. But it's just a question of how many are left playing. And that's why they're doing the layering, which is basically sharding and phasing, but they don't want to call it that. But at launch, the servers will be multiple layers, and you only see people on your layer, but you can group into another layer, so you can still have a community. But then after the initial rush dies down, they'll reduce the number of layers till they get to hey, here's everyone playing on the same server. So we'll see.
If I go full in come August, it will be not a character that needs bags for a bunch of shit, because that was something I ran into immediately. I went, oh right, so this hunter needs a bunch of arrow slots, and also I forgot about minimum range. That's kind of a big deal. I know there's secondary weapons.
It's so cool. You got to be Legolas. You pull out swords and you start beating the thing to death.
I mean, that is cool. You're not wrong. That part is actually cool, and I could get used to that again. That's not a problem. But I don't want to track arrows, so I'm like, well, who else could I be? Should I be a warlock this time around? Oh right, half their bags are full of soul shards. Okay, well, how about I do? I don't want to. So I'm leaning toward like warrior or somebody who's just got his sword and his wits, and that's it.
Warrior's great until you start all the downtime from eating. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just eating the whole time, and first aid, but then you've got to wait for the first aid bandage cooldown to go. It's frustrating. Paladin, your DPS is terrible, but you can't die. So Paladin's a really good one, but then you have to be Alliance because we're Classic. So then you compare it over to like a Shaman, but Shaman's the resto side of things not that strong. So then you're probably looking at more of like a Wind Fury type build, and then that's you're dropping totems all the time. It's not easy. You got to remember you carry your totems with you as well. Remember this.
Oh right,
so you have bag space. Like it's stuff where you're like no.
Yeah.
Even down like I was playing a rogue, and you have throwing axes and throwing knives, and you buy them in stacks of 200. You have to equip them in your range slot.
Yeah.
And you throw knives. And I was like, I completely forgot this. I
also forgot that that's where mounts go too.
You gotta buy ammo.
Like you're not level 40 yet, but when you get to 40, you don't have a collection of mounts anymore. You have a mount in your bag that you click on to summon.
Forgot that.
Yeah, but that's okay, man. You can't afford more than one mount. Don't worry.
Yeah,
it's true.
And those mounts are expensive.
Yeah.
Riding skill in the current game is the expensive part, and the mounts are cheap.
Yeah.
It's the other way around.
Yeah.
So the riding skill is super cheap, but to buy a mount, you're talking 10 gold.
Yeah, which is a lot of gold in Classic.
It's a lot of gold.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot. And that's for a slow one. You want an epic one, that's like 100 gold.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I absolutely love this, that it exists, that we have a release date, that we have excited people. I love it, I love it, I love it. But the more we talk about it, the more I realize there's just a lot of things I'm going to run into and go, oh, yeah, that thing. I kind of hated that.
But it is, and I'm sure I will as well. But it's the time capsule. It's a living, breathing time capsule, and it is preserved at least as it states, as it is now. And maybe they'll do rolling versions. Maybe they'll just have this. I don't know. But I kind of like the idea that I can introduce my kids to the game that changed my life.
Yeah,
and that this is what Daddy did when he was like in his mid-teens. He was there hanging out with much older men, and it's fine. He just met them through the internet, and it's cool. Like, it worked out in the end.
Yeah.
So
it was a different time.
Do you think the Classic server, private server community is happy? I guess they have to be, I suppose.
I guess they should be. It depends in terms of, I don't know how many Classic servers, because I never did the private server stuff. I don't know how true to the rules they were in terms of did they make leveling easier or quicker or
they made a lot of. First of all, they tried to figure out some of the things that they couldn't figure out numbers wise. So some of the things were approximate, but even more than that, they changed some of the things to make it easier. I've read reports, and that's secondhand, so maybe it's not the case, but there's no reason it wouldn't be, from people who were surprised because the game Classic, faithful to what it was much more difficult than what it was on Classic servers, because they did take some of the liberties with the game to make it easier.
Yeah.
So
of course they would. I mean, it makes sense that they would, but also the only people I can think of that are going to be, if they truly love the idea of vanilla, the only ones that are going to be pissed are the ones that were paying nothing for this and now they have to pay something for it.
Right.
So
yeah, maybe.
Other than that,
I kind of imagine that J. Allen Brack is sat there going like, no, it needs to be exactly because I said, and I quote, "You think you do, but you don't." And I will only be proven right if you make it exactly as brutally hard as it was.
Yeah.
I hope it is.
And I'm old enough to remember that this WoW in its most basic launch state was miles easier, not easier, but had so much to do with it that was so much more player friendly or more players friendly than EverQuest or Dark Age of Camelot or any of those games that I was playing up till then. Even City of Heroes had harder systems. You just basically changed a lot of things, and people were pissed. I remember people being mad that you can corpse run and not lose anything. You don't lose XP when you die. That's what a baby game that is. I'm like, no, this is great. I would much rather run and get my thing. So compared to others, it was already a huge step in that direction, and it's only gotten more that way as time has gone on to attract a more mainstream player. And the fact that Blizzard is solving these two problems at once, giving us a modern game and letting those who want the ancient game back is not only commendable but smart.
This is the beauty of it, because there's two things that can come from this on live. Either they see a big growth in Classic and they think, oh, we need to make live more like Classic. We need to do this. And we saw it with flying mounts. Obviously, they realized, like, we kind of don't like that as much. So we're going to gate that right at the end of the expansion, and we're going to make that harder to achieve. Or it may be that they're like, hey, if you like that, go play Classic.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't, now we're free. We can do whatever we want because we can change up that experience to be, hey, we've always wanted to get rid of Horde and Alliance. We're just going to make it you can have any faction. Oh, man, this is rubbish, man. But the Horde and the Alliance is the core of the game. Go play Classic.
Yeah.
They can have this thing where they're like, you don't like it, go play the hard game. Okay, we're making Warcraft for the next 20 years. that is something potentially this frees them up to do.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
Yeah. Or go play on one of those private server Star Wars Galaxy servers if you want to know what's hard.
Man.
Everyone's
I need to do that.
You should. Garrett, you should, and you should stream it because it's exactly the way you remember it. Steve Hamaker, a friend of the show, plays it all the time, and I watch his streams.
I never played it.
Oh my lord! If you never played it, you might end up hating it because it is.
I went from Guild Wars straight into World of Warcraft. That was my MMO curve.
Oh, I'm trying to think
it's
where mine went from. I think the very first MMO I may have played was Anarchy Online. I think.
Wow.
And then I tried EverQuest. So EverQuest came later, even though the release of those were swapped. So I tried EverQuest after that. Then I played Dark Age of Camelot for a long time, and then City of Heroes, and then maybe one or two before that. Can't remember. Asheron's Call 1 and 2. 2 was oh my gosh, real bad time. But then WoW comes along, and everybody calls it the casual MMO at the time. But I was thinking, no, this is my MMO. This is the game I want to play. And
because you're a filthy casual.
I'm a filthy casual. Exactly. And don't forget, when WoW launched, I got little kids. My kids are all little, not quite as little as Patrick's, but Nick is 3 and Carter's 6, and I have small children, and I didn't have a lot of time to play. I couldn't play EverQuest the way my friends were playing it, but I could play WoW the way I wanted to, because this is the other thing WoW did. WoW was the first MMO, and we forget this, to bring quests to the forefront and make quests really the thread of the entire game. Everything around this questing, and you could go by yourself no matter what class you chose. There was a spec that let you go play by yourself. Unheard of in those other games. For the most part, yeah. It's hard for me to name one where I couldn't solo through it. They all did it.
Yeah, it's just that it will take you 3 or 10 times as long if you're.
But you can. That's the thing. That's almost the choice of being like, I leveled holy. What? Yeah, I'm a holy priest. It wasn't easy.
Right. God, I remember my roommate in college did a resto druid, and he just thought it was the funniest thing in the world because he could pull 4 or 5 things, which back in the day was completely unheard of, and he would just very slowly whittle them all down, but he wouldn't die because he was freaking retrospect. And I remember sitting on his futon in his room, just munching on Cheetos, going, "Why are you doing this? Why? Of all the ways to play this game, why is this the way you chose?"
Yeah.
And but it was hilarious, man. And he beat me to 60. That jerk.
There was also I did this thing early in the game in vanilla where I had a friend who played it wasn't Fury. Whatever he was, warrior. It would have been the toughest,
arms.
Probably arms. So he takes this arms warrior, and I go out there as a snow mage, frost mage,
snow mage.
Yeah, frost mage.
Frosty the snow mage.
And he would do this insane, gather up 1 million mobs and have them all pounding on him, and he would be surviving that, and I would just rain holy hell on them with Blizzard, and it was. Fantastic.
By a million mobs, he means 3.
Yeah, it was more like
7.
It was 7 or 8. That 7 or 8 was about the max you could do without somebody dying.
That's a beautiful thing. Like Frost Mages, you get the Frost Elemental, and then it becomes the AoE leveling spec, and it's I love. I'm also thinking. All my old WoW parody songs, they're going to come back in. I didn't think of that. Yeah, that's true. I guess the music maybe was never fashionable, but the songs, I'm excited.
In fact, I got one here. Hold on. Here's an old one. This may not be that old. Let's see. They were always like this.
Exactly what people want, though. Exactly. You need to have just
it's a cover of is old, obviously.
Yeah.
But
my favorite will always be the Druid cover of Soldier Boy.
Yeah. That
was my favorite.
Definitely the best one. Absolutely,
it was pretty good.
Oh, no, guys, I've done way better. You've got to listen to my albums.
Let's hear
Songs
it.
in the Key of Wind.
Why don't you send those over, and I'll start queuing them every week. We'll have a new one to play.
We'll do it. We can get everyone back in the spirit.
I
had some of the newer ones.
Mm-hmm.
I had Crit on My Pants. You ever heard Crit on My Pants?
No, I haven't
just
heard.
Just the chant that makes you dead. Double your damage.
Did you really record a bunch of songs? I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, loads.
Oh my gosh, we got to get these in here.
First time I was on How I Wow with Patrick and Sean.
Yeah.
I did one called Reroll Tauren. That was an epic one. I see Patrick there. Oh yeah, I remember. Oh, that's an earworm. Yeah, I'll be humming along to that later. You know, it's
later.
Yeah.
Later.
Much later.
Later that day.
Yeah.
Well,
it's good times.
I bring him back. Let's play him. I'm into it.
Yeah,
I'd
why not?
Be totally into that. Into playing some of that stuff.
Oh my God! Thank you, Chapman, for bringing up the internet is for porn.
It is totally for porn.
That was. I mean, those are great.
I had that on my
straight up Avenue Q.
Exactly. That's not a real song.
Yeah, but the only reason I knew about it was because of World of Warcraft. So.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's like I'm sure Hardware Store by Weird Al. That I remember that WoW movie. That I never really heard of a ball peen hammer before, but I know about it now. I was like, that's a real thing?
Yeah.
Ball and peen?
Yeah, they had a peen.
Wow.
There's a ball
They
peen.
really went for it.
I had those when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
just let me name it.
I felt like our garage had 20 ball peen hammers in it, and I never understood what they were for. I still don't really. I don't know what you use them for, but I know what they are.
I have one. I've never used it.
Yeah, because what's it for? Nothing. You need the claw end to pull out the nail. The peen.
That's the one you use when you can't find other hammers.
I guess. But what's the peen for? It's for something. You got to use your peen for something.
I think it's just for that.
Yeah.
It's just so you can say that.
Creamy peen. All right. Let's move on. Real quick here. I'm going to make a comment about a modern thing. So, hey, all you classic fans, get excited because in the modern game, gnomes and Tauren mount sizes got updated. So now the mounts basically are shrinking a little bit for the gnomes, which should have always been that way. So then it looks stupid perched up there. So that's...
No, that looks awesome. That's why it was such a feat when you were a gnome and you actually got the freaking reputation to buy a mount from a different race and you were just on this giant horse, this tiny little gnome. It was the coolest thing in the game.
I had the biggest horse on the server. I was one of the first guys to get, rune cloth farming. This was like in the peak of like Anchorage and stuff like that, where it was expensive. Yeah. I was buying it up, I was farming it. I got my rep up and I just used to stand on my swift white steed outside the Ironforge Bank. Are
we talking about peen again?
No, we're not talking about peen.
I was about to say, I mean, you might have had the biggest horse, but I still had the biggest ball peen hammer.
Yeah, you got the biggest peen.
Well, quite likely.
So hold on, though.
This is a great thing. This shows that, hey, you don't like it? Go play Classic.
Yeah, I was going to say, go play Classic. If you don't like this change, Classic's out there for you. Yo, you can have your gnome look as dumb as ever and low poly as ever with like no finger hands and everything. It'll be great. You're going to enjoy it. So check that out. All right, so that's the thing. Before we move on to what else is happening around Blizzard, I wanted to talk to Terpster because we haven't had you here to get your impressions, thoughts, and feelings about the current lore of the game. Thrall and Starfang getting together there for a little bit of let's go get her.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah. What do you think about where we're at, where we're headed? Any predictions?
I don't know. I don't think Thrall's going to be War Chief, even though obviously Chris, came along to your Q&A and was all like, "Hey, can I get my old job back?" No, we've moved the story on.
Yeah.
I think Saurfang would be a great War Chief. Maybe Bane. There's choices there, but it's very clear now, obviously, that the choices the players got to make about, do you want to be on Sylvanas' side or do you want to be on? Kind of means like, you're the straight up bad guys now.
Yeah.
From a narrative perspective,
they're not going to let us take her side, right? There's no way there's no taking her side at this point. The game's going to force us to not take her side.
Well, if you listen to some people, they're still defending her, but
yeah.
But I mean, the game's not going to let us.
As it stands,
yeah.
As it stands, I think that cinematic was amazing, and I mean, I don't know if Saurfang was like the most expensive CG model they made ever. But he's now been in like every single cinematic. It seems like they're really trying to get the mileage out of him. But it may also just be to kind of reintroduce him to the players. Like, he's going to be a big deal. You should probably pay attention to this guy. Mm-hmm. I just worry about having an old orc. I don't want an old orc as a war chief.
Why is that?
I worry about him aging out of like, oh, he's been our war chief now for 10 years. He should be dead.
That's very ageist of you. I think it'd be fine to have a wise old orc war chief in charge.
I'd like it if he was like Drekthar. I think like Drekthar, and he was like a wizened old like blind orc. I'm not saying like he's like Saurfang the Broken or some sort of like Mary Sue King. But I would say that, you know, him being like a warrior and his whole thing is like this you know, this strength and the rest. Who knows? But then already we've seen Thrall. Obviously now they've reintroduced him. It's hard not to get hyped watching that cinematic. Like, it's great. Just that, you know, I didn't ask you to, was badass in terms of like, I'm not coming back. Okay, guys, come on. I'm out of it. We don't want you back. Well, why are you here? I just wanted to chat. Yeah. Oh, and I followed these guys who were here to kill you. What?
Here's that part right here.
I didn't ask.
There you go. There's that bit.
I didn't ask. Which I think is, you know, that's a sexy text tone you can put on your phone.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
You know, when you get,
listen to that again.
Do you know what she's done while you? I didn't ask.
There you go. Okay. But okay, so here's the big question I've had overnight, and I wanted to talk about today. Do you think, and any of us can pipe into this after Terpster's had his set, I guess, but do you think this is the end of Thrall, that we are going to enter him into a battle where he is going to be sacrificial, and that'll be all we get from him?
Oh, you can't bring him back just to kill him.
I don't know. Can't you? Can't you? Because
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Maybe a few expansions, but no, not right now.
Okay.
It would suck if they did that, I think.
Yeah.
In terms of like it would feel like almost like Metzen had said, look, guys, I'm moving to Antarctica. You got me for another three months, so bring me back, kill me off, and I'll see you on the other side. You know, like if
no, but
real
they don't
world
even
things
need to bring him
dictated
back.
it.
It's not like he was an active part of the game, right? It's like, well, if you don't want him in the game, then you don't bring him back, and that's it. You don't bring him back just to kill him.
But equally, you've got like his kids. His kids are going to be like in the game.
Does he have more than one kid? I thought he just had the kid.
Or a kid. He's gonna. I don't know what's happened when he's been.
Well,
out.
how many kids does Chris have? He has 3, right? So Thrall has 3.
Chris has 3. Thrall has 3.
He is. Guys, are you not seeing this? They're the same guy. They've even got the same voice. I think it would be very upsetting if they killed off Thrall, just because it doesn't feel like that the narrative punch that would give is needed. If they had Sylvanas betray him or something like that and he died, we already dislike her. That's not doing anything. If it was a big sort of tonal shift of another character turning around and betraying him, maybe. But even then, it feels a bit like there's no need for that.
What if Thrall came? What if Thrall walked up to Sylvanas? She was sort of turned around. She turns around slowly, kind of has a look on her face like, I'm finally doing it. I think I got this horde thing down. And then he just says, you'll always be my queen, and looks like he's going to kiss her, but then stabs her right in the gut. What do you think of that?
I like that. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. But she's got Xalatath now, doesn't she?
Yeah.
So she could have it. He could grab her by the throat. She could drop it and then catch it and then stab him.
Oh, right. Yeah, that'd be
a pretty sweet move.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, I feel like we're likely going to get more Lich King going forwards. And so I don't feel that there's a need to kill off Thrall yet. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, I'm excited to see
back Thrall to kill him.
Yeah, Patrick's probably right. I think, Patrick, you're right. Like, Garrett, do you think, your take, if they bring back Thrall in this fashion, is this a one-off and he goes back into his little home after everything gets solved? Does he die? Where do you think Blizzard goes with him?
Well, because we haven't seen him kind of redeem himself, right, and get the elements back. I think we're on an arc of Thrall finding his power again. That to me seems like the most obvious kind of path to set Thrall on.
I think he still carries his totems in his bag, by the way. Just putting that out there.
I think he's
Have we ever seen Thrall even put a totem down?
No.
Not in a cinematic, no.
No. I mean, he's never been in a true cinematic anyway.
Gone? I want his big prayer beads back.
Well, what about... Oh, you do? Because I don't. Those things sucked.
I liked it. I like,
Well, he stopped being a hippie and he started being a farmer. So now he has we're gonna find him with a straw hat.
Yeah,
it was a little bit like, I see the colonel's back. At the end, it's like, he's retired on a farm. He's like, Thrall, you were the best pilot we ever had. I gave up that job a long time ago. Okay, I'm a farmer now. Well, guess what? War didn't give you up. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, boom, 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 boom. Time to get back in the plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It was nice. I like it.
Yeah. It's tropey, but it worked for me.
And he's got his axe, and I don't know if that's meant to be his dad's axe or what. If that's
it looks. We talked about this last week, and I think Garrett or somebody had said it looks like people have been digging, and they think it's just new. It doesn't look like anybody's anything.
Just a new axe.
Yeah.
But why keep it under an anvil?
I don't know.
Who does that?
Well, it's because he's a family man, and it's like hiding your gun.
Yeah, lock the gun away so the kid doesn't get it and go, "Hey, you guys, look at my dad's gun!" Boom! Oh crap! One of the kids is in the hospital.
Yeah.
That's why. Except you'd get cut. I guess.
Saved me.
But I don't have a problem with any of these theories. Did you like the fact though that he this is his first rendered cinematic that we've ever had Thrall in? It's kind of crazy to think that.
It's not Warcraft 3.
Oh, well, that doesn't count. Those don't count.
Those rendered cinematics aren't the kind I'm talking about.
He looks terrible in that.
I just had a dream.
He looked terrible in it. But also, I mean in World of Warcraft. I don't mean ever in the history of ever. Like in World of Warcraft, and since day one.
Impression of a YouTube comment.
It really was. But there hasn't been any. There's been no Thrall rendered out like this, and I don't know why I find that so cool, but I think it's amazing, and I also think it's wasted if we don't get more. I think there's more of these coming. There's clearly more of these coming
because they're really expensive to make.
Yeah,
like to model that character. I mean, he is a big character, so he's kind of worth it.
Yeah.
But I mean, already like the fight that takes place in it is a fun scene. These smaller, more intimate CG cinematics we're getting are great, and they're like, we think we can manage kind of like two characters on screen talking. And the most impressive thing that you have to look across all of these since Lordaeron to now is the uncanny valley in that it ain't there. These characters are talking, also with like big tusks in their mouths and stuff like that, and it doesn't trigger your brain like bad CG and bad animation sometimes do. You watch these cinematics, and I'm just lost in these characters. I think the technical achievement is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's so good.
It really is just, it's we used to say it's like Hollywood level. I feel like it's better. Like watching Endgame, there were times when you're like, well, that's clearly composited. Oh, this one's like, oh, what's going on there? Especially like Infinity War with the weird floaty heads in the big suits of armor and stuff like that, where they're trying to mix real world stuff and computer stuff. But it's just really enjoyable to watch these things.
Yeah,
they're great.
We say it. I feel like at least 12 times a year, everyone at least once says, "I wish Blizzard would make longer form content with this stuff." They're not going to do it, but man,
I mean, it would just tie up their entire cinematics team for years.
It'd be a new business division, basically, and they don't. I mean, why would they do that? It would have to be. It would have to be
exactly. And the thing is there probably isn't enough money to make it worthwhile.
Right.
Like it's so expensive. These things are a labor of love. There's no way that the subs have gone up enough off the back of this cinematic that you can say like, money well spent, guys. They see it as an overall investment in the ecosystem that is WoW. Whereas I'd argue like the in-game cinematics, like the Siege of Orgrimmar trailer where Garrosh gets the Heart of Yasaj.
Yeah.
Like, and they have the amazing fight on the bridge and stuff like that. That is straight kind of, I guess I'm resubbing, that is a get hyped sort of cinematic. Whereas these things are kind of, they're really good. They're like, it's like a really good book.
Yeah.
You're like, that was a great book. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whereas I want like the in-game stuff's like a Netflix show. And you're like, well, guess I'm watching the rest of this. You just keep going, you jump back in.
Right.
So I don't think that they ever made money on cinematics. I don't think they ever will. And so maybe they don't care about making money and they would make a movie, or maybe they just
when you
wouldn't
say
because they
cinematics,
make money.
When you say cinematics, you don't mean the intro cinematics from each expansion, right? They make that is a trailer for a movie, and their marketing, and they, in that sense, make money on that.
Oh, right.
And
right.
my unpopular opinion is that these, as cool as they are, cheapen the big bombastic epic cinematics a little bit. I like them, but it feels like, oh, well, another WoW cinematics, and they're cool, but I don't know, it feels like it cheapens the overall experience of getting a WoW cinematic because they are cheaper and it's, one location, you get 2 actors, and that's all the money we have for. And so they're obviously less impressive and less epic.
You're an insane person. I've decided you're actually insane.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you're crazy.
No, I hear you, Patrick. I do. I think you're right. And they're more plentiful. They're less special. You know.
I get that. I get the less special thing.
Intro ones.
Right.
Exactly. And I mean, when you look at the Siege of Lordaeron and you see the massive destruction, particle effects, huge armies, all the different races, there's no way you don't come away from that being like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That was
exactly.
That was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, with
and
these,
even
you're
the
like, wow,
in-game
that's
ones,
that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
The in-game ones, I feel I like even a little bit better, I think, because they're more complex and they have more stuff. And I don't know.
I don't know about more
And
complex.
they drive the narrative.
You
so
just
much
want Michael Bay to make all the cinematics? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, what I mean.
You dislike drama and nuance?
No, that's not the case at all. And you know that's not.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I hear you too. I just completely disagree.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
I do too. I think I agree with they are less special by default because they're less rare now, right? Like we're actually getting them on a regular, semi-regular basis. It's never happened in an expansion before, and so yeah,
I think objectively they're not as good as the opening cinematics.
Well, they can't be.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, like.
Yeah, but that's like saying
they're great to have, but they aren't.
That's like saying the scene. But that's like saying the scene where
make the openings less good.
Right, but where the scene where Mad Max is where Mad Max is talking to Furiosa and they're just having a conversation is inherently less exciting than the giant fight with all of the people on the road.
Thank God you made it understable there with Mad Max.
But you see what I mean? Not every scene can be like the most epic scene you've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I mean.
Yeah.
You make a good point. And I am one of the people who thinks, we need some set up personal stakes stuff in order for everything else in the action to matter. When, in action movies, everyone complains about some things that are too slow. I'm the one who's like, no, are you nuts? We need those things. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, I don't know. When it was just one or two, it felt like, yeah, this is fine. This is cool. But now it's like exactly the same. Okay, two people, one location, they have a little chat, and it feels like a template that's being, I don't know. It's a minor thing. I don't want to.
I think I start to come over to your side of the fence with this one because you are making me think about the cinematic we got at BlizzCon of Anduin and Sourfang and the dungeons and yeah. Right. That's boring as hell. But it's also because Anduin is one of the most boring characters ever. But like this one is exciting because rogues show up and try and kill people, and we
undead
get
rogues,
invisible neck snapping.
Yeah, undead rogues. Everybody. I just want to remind you.
Bug as well.
Okay, you're bringing me around. You're bringing me around, Patrick. But if anything, I think this cinematic and how good it is where I start to agree with you because the other two. Zappy Boy and Sourfang have a talk, and Anduin and Sourfang have a talk aren't as good as Thrall and Sourfang's talk, and then the action scene that follows.
Well, you got to watch. You got to watch the full. You got to binge the whole thing now. You got to start from Sylvanas talking and walking up the steps to all the way till now, and you get I think it's a funner trip.
Why stop there?
That's okay.
Go on
we'll
back,
take 2 minutes.
Thrall waking up. Whoa, what a dream! That's what we go from.
I would look. Do you want to live in a world? Do you want to live in a world where we have this stuff, or do you want to live in a world where we don't have it? I want to live in a world where we have it. Is what I'm saying. Even if
Warcraft 3 Reforged one, they just had the the soldiers dead at the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
They didn't have Thrall waking up. I'm trying to think. Did he wake up at the end of that normally, or am I thinking Frozen Throne?
I think Frozen Throne is what you're thinking.
No. Him waking up. That was Warcraft 3. That was Reign of Chaos.
Was it?
Because that's.
Or is it?
Yes, that's the lead-in. I think. I don't remember now.
Technically, it's a separate cinematic, I guess.
Yeah.
I was just wondering whether or not we could have had a new HD Thrall then, waking up. Yeah. I got a thing for him waking up.
Hey, are they redoing those? Do we know if they're redoing all the cinematics, or are they keeping those?
they only did the first one, and everyone thought that meant they were going to do all of them, and then they were like, No, we're going to re-export them in widescreen, or we're going to re-render them, but we're not going to redo it.
Yeah, it makes me sad.
Which is exactly
that would be neat. That'd be really neat.
Because that would have been epic. But again, probably wouldn't have sold that many more copies, just would have made us feel better about having spent the money on buying the game again.
Yeah. You want
to answer your question, Scott, about what world I want to live in. I want to live in a world where we have tons of cinematics that are as epic and fun as the intro trailers.
Yeah,
the intro one.
Me too. But if I
can choose.
But if you could, that's the thing. If the choice is that or nothing, I will take what we got.
But would you say so? For example, we get like 4 intimate stories. Would you rather have one epic opening trailer type thing?
So if they make like an additional mid expansion epic one instead of the 4 small ones, that's interesting.
Now if we're doing like a barter system, now I'm interested.
Because imagine like
I've
kind of
always
Queen
wanted...
Ashara, the 2 fleets meeting in the middle of the ocean, and suddenly the ocean just drops out from beneath them as the waves part and Najatar's revealed, and she's like, "Come to my palace," like a big, massive thing like that. That'd be
hopefully better than that. Yes, but
sounds great already in my head.
The thing is, with this one, I wonder if it would even be 3 or 4 of these small ones for one big one. Because now that I think about it, when you mentioned Sauerfang is in all 3, it's essentially one additional character per cinematic, right? Or maybe the undead rogues also count. But
but
we already had Sauerfang and
Snappy Boy, Anduin, Greymane. They were all in the Legion. In the Battle
right.
Yeah, so was Bane.
Trying to get the use out of the assets they made.
Bane...
So Thrall's actually the only new one we've seen.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the rogues are foot soldiers.
Oh, they might have been.
Okay. So just reuse all of the assets and just make a different angle with something else happening somewhere, like some sort of Avengers.
They're sieging Stormwind.
Right. They did that in Endgame.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting idea actually. Having stuff
if
happen.
All of them had to be like that, it would be a little bit like.
Always really wanted full.
Try to smash things up a bit.
Sorry, go ahead, Garrett.
I've always really wanted full-fledged cinematics for the end of expansions. Like, seeing these smaller scale, fully rendered cinematics now, I'm just like, can we go back in time and apply this to the death of Arthas and the death of Gul'dan and like I want to see those scenes play out in full glory. Especially
the death of Arthas. That thing sucks now. Have you seen it lately?
It is not great.
It's bad. It's so bad.
To be honest, the in-game cinematics nowadays are so good that I could live with.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'll also take that, but I would much prefer full rendered. Like I'll tell you, the old soldier cinematic, the only part of that really stirs me, like gets me like, oh yeah, Warcraft, is that half second in Northrend with his dead son, where I'm just like, I know that scene. Holy shit, we're in Northrend.
That's me.
I killed him. I killed him. I killed your son.
He was bad though.
Well, I mean, he was bad. He wasn't really a nice guy. Turns out.
Plague. I think Blake killed him, and then the dragons burned him, and then Arthas grabbed his corpse and resurrected him. So it's not really my fault.
Hey, is there? Here's a question for you, because they never addressed it. Do you think out there in the Grand, somewhere, is a big old stone fist still holding the rotting corpse of Garage?
So.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's still there if you've done the quest. I think you can go out there. I think he's still hanging out.
And he's still hanging there.
Each cinematic should open with an increasingly high quality rotting carcass. He's getting pecked away at by ravens. Oh, maybe that's Medivh.
Yeah, well, it was Medivh pecking at it. I love it.
Yeah.
That's too far.
That's too far. Well, Medivh he hated him so much that he would, yeah. Anyway, my hope is the final cinematic for this game is a cheap in-game cinematic, not a nice well-made in-game or rendered one. Instead, just a crappy where they just kind of emote it, and it's freaking shit wizard Khadgar back, and he says,
yeah, exactly.
That's all, folks.
It should freeze, go grayscale, and then be like text on there saying, the heroes later settled down and became farmers. It's like, what? What do you mean?
I love it. That's what I want. If you want to know what I want, that's what I want.
The whole thing, yeah, exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Cut to Thrall. He went back to playing ball and catch with his kids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
little
nice.
text underneath each name.
Giovanna still is quite a naughty woman.
To my last word on this whole thing will be for the pre-rendered or in-game cinematics.
Yeah.
I think one of the most emotional and powerful cinematics we've had in recent years was Green Puff King, and that was in game. So I'm again not 1,000% sure we need none in game as much.
I like that you call it Green Puff King. That's awesome. But also, it's roughly what happened. We're all breathing him now. We know that. But here's the thing.
Well, only when we're in there.
I would agree with you. Like but see, I also think a lot of the stuff, including the thrall thing, also because I know about a couple of timetables, I think all this stuff is done way back. Like when that original cinematic was done, most of this was already done. They were doing it all at once, is what I'm saying. The workflow isn't big, huge months of time go by before people do things. We know when Chris went in for recording the thrall bits, and it was a long time ago. So,
well, you do. We don't.
Well, exactly. But that's my point. Is
that you have?
No. I don't mean that's my point. My point is that this stuff was
my close personal friend Chris Metzen.
I just mean if they were going to decide to do something different now,
personal friend.
If they were going to do something different now, they might do what Patrick's suggesting, because maybe this wasn't worth it. I don't know. I think it was worth it because I love it. I'm not saying they shouldn't have, but internally, they're probably having these conversations, going, "All right, well, how did we do with that? Did it really make a difference? Did it compel more players to sign up again? Like that's the only metric they can use, that and YouTube
it's so
views."
Difficult to evaluate though, because everyone's so angry with BFA as it is. So would that move the needle more if people were happy about the expansion as a whole, or does it not matter, or does it help? It's really hard.
Right. Who knows? I do know this though.
Who knows?
There are only a few more things happening around Blizzard, and we're going to talk to them or about them, not to them. You can't talk to Blizzard games. All right, here's the deal. Overwatch got Workshop. It's in there, and it's cool. I like it. I think that's a nice, bold move for them, and I wish it was a little more like bring in your own assets kind of modifications sort of stuff, even if it only happened client-side for you or whatever, because I'm a big fan of that sort of thing.
What you're saying is you want more penises.
More penises. Yep, more penises, more customizable penises. I want...
all manners of penises are welcome.
Every possible ween construction.
Which makes sense, to be honest, given the name.
Yeah, exactly. But Workshop is cool. It's allowing people to play game types that literally don't exist in the game that are fun and unique and interesting, and there's some King of the Hill variants I've messed around with that are really neat, and I think it's
a really great way to crowdsource fresh ideas.
Yeah, it is.
It's just like, hey, everyone really likes this whole auto chess, I think we're calling it auto chess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing from these game modes that Warcraft 3 had. Yeah. We got MOBAs.
Yep.
That went on to be the biggest genre of recent history.
Right.
Now we had auto chess made in Dota 2, which is now going to be a mobile game.
Yep.
And you can play the beta now.
And Valve is also going to make their own auto chess. That was announced.
Yeah. Oops. Shit. Sorry. That's not supposed to happen.
Here's what I found.
Oh gosh.
I'm not making an auto chess. I know Valve. Anyway.
Siri, what is hindsight?
Yeah.
These are like really good things to have, because it frees up people out there to be creative in the engine and, kind of show Blizzard, hey, you know what, actually, this could work. And they
I'm not sure the Forge is flexible enough for these kinds of
not yet.
No, but you can.
I saw Flappy Bird though. You seen Flappy?
Yeah,
Farah?
I did see that.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff.
You jump along.
Yeah.
And it's multiplayer. You see the other Farahs and I'm gonna win. Oh no, I'm not.
No, here's the thing, Patrick. I'm with you that it's got its limitations, but if you can find a kind of core idea that you can, because it supports full scripting, so you can do all kinds of wacky stuff. I mean, you can literally. I played one where Torbjorn turrets fire like thousands of Torbjorns. Like the actual character. Yeah, we talked about it last week. Like that kind of stuff seems wacky at first and a little bit dumb, and you move on to the next thing. But eventually somebody stumbles upon some kind of like combination of mechanics, and you're like, oh wait, that's like a mode Like, I really think stuff will come out of this.
If you took King's Row and you turn it into a tower defense by being able to place turrets, you could put tourbillon turrets down and Farah's, and Symmetra, and Orisa could be one. You could see how you could create a rudimentary kind of Omnic tower defense mode or something like that, and be like, hey, how does this work? Like, should we make a horde mode? Should we see what happens if you have to kind of entrench a position or hold a spot? What can we do? How can we create these different things? Mm-hmm. I think it's a good thing that they've done it, and it'd be interesting to see if it's enough.
Yeah. So we'll see. Hearthstone
and maybe
also...
they can expand the possibilities for this.
Yeah.
There's also the new replay mode on the PTR. Did you see that?
Oh no! Tell me about the replay mode. How's it work?
So it's essentially, the tools they use in the Overwatch League to observe. Mm-hmm. It's essentially you can record a game. All of your games are recorded automatically, actually, and you can replay them and use the tools, the observation tools, during that match to see how you did and how other people played and all of that.
That's cool. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's like proper replay mode is what that is.
Yeah.
Those always impress me. StarCraft's been doing it for years, obviously, but I love the idea that you're not recording. It's not like video of the game. It's data from the game, and the data's can reconstruct everything as it happened is fascinating to me. I love that. I feel like that's I don't know, it's like a weird dystopic idea of what our actual human future could be like. They're going to figure out a way.
What?
Just think about it for a second, Patrick. Think about it. So like when you have a game and you record all the data of the game, one day maybe we could record all the data of a day. And then you could replay the day back in perfect fidelity.
Scott, I love you, but sometimes you're really dumb.
This is that whole, are we living in a simulation? And I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Why is that dumb? That's a fun idea. That's a cool science fiction idea.
Yes, of course.
That's a great idea. He knows too much, Terminator. I'm sorry. They're meant to be muted, sorry.
Agents will show up at your house shortly.
Yeah. I hear them now. They're coming through the roof. All right, Hearthstone. They got their single-player thing out, the dollar on heist business. I was really hoping it would make me like it more than I have in the past, and I didn't. I don't really care for it. It's okay. It's fine. I know that I know. It's just
surprised
me.
to hear that.
It's just me. I thought I was going to love it. I really did, because I kind of liked the previous iterations, but there was no progression or kind of reason to keep playing it. And so I was like, wow, maybe one day they'll put one out that'll really make me want to keep going. And this is absolutely better than it has been. No question about that. Like, this is a better mode than it was ever implemented before, starting with Kobolds, and I guess that was the expansion that came out in.
Catacombs, yeah.
Yeah, and I like that it's better, but I got going and I just went, oh, it's just... I mean, I guess it's just more Hearthstone, and so all the core stuff needs to be there in your Hearthstone love to love it.
Is it because of Darkest Dungeon? Because I was talking to Kyle, because he's a Darkest Dungeon fan, and I thought he was going to like this, and he sent me a text that just says Darkest Dungeon is better, and that was all. That was his review.
See, that's interesting, because Darkest Dungeon I wouldn't even compare to it, because they're so different. But I would say Slay the Spire.
Oh no, sorry, Slay the Spire. I'm getting my games I've never played mixed up.
Yes, Slay the Spire is what I was hoping for, and is not this. And it's okay that it's not this. I don't want to make it seem like that's a bad thing. It just may not be for me.
No, I still play Slay the Spire every day, do the daily run. I love it. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
This is a very different game still.
Yeah.
The kind of artifacts, if you compare them to loot, the loot in Hearthstone, you get like 4, like 2 passive, 2 active. In Slay the Spire, you'll get like 10. Or like 15, and they do completely change the effect of basically every card in your deck as you progress through, so it's constantly evolving. This seems to be like a Slay the Spire light, in that it's not too crazy, but if you lean into your treasures, see what you pick up. If you get something that discounts your minions, start picking more minions. If you get my favorite one is the one that halves the cost of all cards, but you can only play 2 a turn. Because then you just start picking the biggest cards you see. Each bucket that comes up, I'm like, well, that's a 10 mana, bam, and you can't lose. And it's really fun. It breaks the rules. It makes you feel like you're good at the game. And I tried playing against other people again, and I'm really not good at the game still. Really bad at the game. But in single player, hey, I complete all the heroics. I can do it. It's fun. And yeah, it's just each wing is 30 minutes, 45 minutes of great fun. I just think what you would probably benefit from is kind of getting Garrett to play in with you, do a stream one time, and have someone kind of help you pick some good treasures and cards and give you a bit of help around the first one. Because I feel once you get over that kind of hurdle of understanding how to win, you win more, and then it's really fun.
I mean, it's not that I don't understand how the mechanics are working or how the treasures work. It's just that I don't feel like I'm having moment-to-moment fun. And I don't know why. Maybe. I don't know why it's the pacing. Maybe it's just, it's still it's still a Hearthstone board, and the cards come out the same. And of course it does.
Even when you see Bob, it's like, how do we do a shop in Hearthstone? Well, we just make the guy you're fighting not fight you. You get 2 mana coins.
Yeah.
Here you go. We've made a shop. And it's cool, it's clever, but every now and then you just get crazy runs. Like I had a run where I had a 12/12 0 cost Yogg-Saron that always was in my opening hand, and it was just like so literally every game. So
he's just a 12/12 because you haven't got to cast any spells yet. So you're just dropping a 12/12.
Not Yogg, sorry, Yasiraj. Even sorry, Yasiraj.
Oh, Yasiraj. Okay.
And so then he would just pull stuff out of my deck.
Holy crap!
And it was just like I was like, can't lose. I am invincible. I
had a 0 cost Ysera that always started in my hand, and I was like, oh crap, I'm burning cards because very early on,
you can't.
Ysera just fills up your hand because you can't cast the spell she gives you.
So I feel like there is a lot of fun to be had. It is the best single player adventure they've done. It's the most expensive single player adventure they've done, in terms of it's like $20 or whatever. Whereas they were
the same as they always are. I thought they were all that.
Back when they had adventures, they used to be $20.
Yeah. Okay, well there you go. It's been a long while.
But maybe this is overall. This is just less content than that because it's just this weird ladder and not a bunch of story or raids or.
No, there's a bunch of story.
Is there?
There is a lot of story.
This is a mix. This is essentially taking. Yeah, it's basically taking adventures and dungeon runs and combining the two.
Oh, interesting.
And then adding some new features.
Okay.
Because
in fairness, don't buy it on iOS because you spend more. And they charge a premium on Apple products.
Yeah.
They're making some of that 30% buy it on mobile, buy it on Battle.net.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like already just 3 weeks in or 2 weeks in, three wings in, I feel like I'm happy with the $20 I spent already, and there's still more to come.
Well, there you go.
I loved it.
A good value, everyone. In Heroes of the Storm, there's nothing really. Yeah, that's true. In Heroes of the Storm, there's nothing new going on necessarily. Although there was a patch, and I just want to make a recommendation.
Giant patch.
Huge patch. Yeah, huge patch that they didn't really. I mean, whatever. That game's being handled so differently now. They don't. The hype train is different. It's more of an intimate hype train. But Jaina's new Blizzard build is something else. You have to play it to see it. It's amazing, and I love it. And all hail Jaina in Heroes of the Storm. She's great at it.
And you'll never use Cone of Cold again because you'll never be close to anyone.
And you'll never need it because Blizzard kills. Oh, it's so good how it stacks now. I love it.
Do you reckon that's an SEO thing? So everyone's saying how good Blizzard is? Is that something they intrinsically try and do?
I don't know. Good question.
On the next, on the Q2 earnings call, there were positive comments about Blizzard on Google increased 20% over the last quarter.
I could see that.
And then you just turn around like, thanks, Heroes team. We're sorry we gutted you.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry for canceling your game, basically. Yeah.
Basically, it's true. Patrick, you reminded us that StarCraft is getting a new co-op commander pack thing. I thought you wrote it because your things hovered over it.
Oh, I'm sure it's Garrett if it's StarCraft.
That was me.
Oh, okay, Garrett, tell us about it. What's going on with because there's never any StarCraft news. This is good.
They added Egon Stepman, and he's freaking hilarious and has a really cool kit. And if you like co-op at all, you should go check it out.
Remind me who he is. Is he the voice Who's Egon Stepman?
The goofy scientist dude from the Wings of Liberty campaign.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I still like it in terms of, yes, Scott, that is every player's reaction outside of the StarCraft core.
Yeah.
But that's the guys who are buying it. So
I mean, I played that campaign, but I just can't remember that guy's name. Let's see.
Also, if you play co-op, he's the VO on the gas level, and he's just absurd and has clearly gone mad. So if you've been playing co-op, he's been more in your kind of mindset.
Oh, it's
and
this
now he's
nerd. Okay, I know who it is now.
Yeah,
I know this nerd. All right,
it's a fun co-op commander.
He's basically Egon from, and his name is It's all right. I get it.
Yeah, it's a Ghostbusters reference. You've cracked the mystery.
Hello, 2010. All right. I mean, that's how long ago I played that. So it's like 9 years ago. Think of that. StarCraft 2, almost 10 years old. Think of that.
Next time you're bored, Scott, I really recommend going and playing co-op.
Everyone tells me that, so you're not alone. I have heard this many times from many friends. Maybe I'll finally do it. Maybe I'll do it with you. Maybe you'll be forced to do it since you keep bugging me about it. How about that?
I would be very down for that.
Okay. I was hoping you'd go, oh, that sucks. I didn't mean to suggest that. But
I'm sorry, I'm really busy. And be like, sweet, phew.
Yeah.
I'm going to play StarCraft.
Got away with that one.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Why, it's the town crier.
All right. He did that when he was 8. That's crazy. He's 19 now. Anyway, hey. Let's do a town crier, an email. This is an email that was sent to theinstance@gmail.com. It came from Harbor Larry on Dalaran, and he says this: what do you boys think about a transmog app, something similar to the Wowhead dressing room or the Mogget add-on, something that would, something we could mess around with on our smartphones to create new mogs with our existing collection, or dream mogs with things that are yet to be collected. I'd happily pay for an app like this. Insert shut up and take my money meme here. What do you think? Says Hal Burlary. I don't think they'll do it, but it'd be neat. So, sure.
Would it, though?
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? It's playing dress up on your phone. I don't know.
I don't want to play dress up on my phone with my this is the character that slayed, like, the Lich King, that, fought back Deathwing and saved Azeroth, But, I'm going to try out some new transmogs. Like, I love doing, and I solo a lot of old content because I have no friends.
Yeah.
And I unlock a load of transmog stuff, and it's fun. But if they're going to make an app, like, it should be, like, useful. It should be, like, trade skills, fishing, as you've always said, Scott. Like, genuinely,
I agree.
Fishing on an app, I would play that. Then I go in, and I've got stuff. I feel like one of the best things they did in Legion was the companion app. It felt really good. It wasn't laborious. It had enough in there that I could just fire up. There you go. Bing, bing, bing. Picked up the things. Jobs are good. If I could do that with my trade skills and, kind of, you've got some more. Here you go. Click to smelt or something like that. And then, okay, go fishing. Cool. When I have to tap in the right places, I get stuff. I would. I haven't fished in-game for years. And I'll let you in on a little prediction of mine. I don't think I'm going to fish in-game for years. I still, every expansion, I'll buy the skill, because who knows? Maybe this is the time. Maybe now I'm gonna, I'm gonna start fishing right now here in Pandaria. No. But now we're here and in the Legion zone. All of these. It's never happening.
Yeah.
If I remake my hunter in classic, I'm gonna have to fish because I got to feed my pet to keep them happy.
Right.
So that's it. That's the only way you're gonna get me to fish.
Deviant Scale Delights. You wanna be a pirate? You're going to need to fish. But it's okay, because Outtrack Valley's back, baby, and it's going to take 4 days. So guess who's hanging out in the middle, fishing, not doing anything to help his team? This guy.
So excited for that, because I did not get to experience OG Alterac Valley. I never
really?
tried it during vanilla.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm really
excited.
excited.
That is going to be an interesting experience for you.
It's a team. It's a team effort.
I'm going to be sitting here in my underwear. I'm going to be as comfortable as possible, and we're going to do a 4-hour AV. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to take way longer. But yeah,
that'll be, man. That is that's 2004.
So I think transmog for me, I would much rather they put their efforts elsewhere. But I don't know. These are the sorts of things that Blizzard should be asking their community and their player base. Like, where do you want us to put our efforts? And they don't, because they think they know best. And maybe they do. And maybe they have analytics that know us better than we know ourselves.
Right. But you could argue classic. You could argue classic is the result of them not knowing what people wanted, and the people being so loud about what they wanted, they finally caved and gave it to them.
You do, but you don't. I mean,
we don't know how much classic is going to get, how many subscribers it's going to get, but I'm pretty sure that even in this state, at the end of an expansion that people didn't like, there are more subscribers for BFA than there will be for Classic.
Well, I agree, but my point is that I don't know that Blizzard had even bothered with Classic had there not been fan outcry for it. So to answer Terpster's whole question about, do they ever listen to their players, this feels like a case where they absolutely did, because I don't even know if they know the end result of this. Like they're kind of doing it it feels like they're doing it out of pressure, and I'm fine with it. Like this isn't out of duty. Okay. They feel a duty to the players who are loud and whatever, but
this is also they're 15 years into a game, and they basically realize technically, we can.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time they just told themselves, no, we couldn't do it. It's too much. It's trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. Actually that fits. Yeah, you just have a bit of gap around the okay, and actually we can make this. Now that's a square. We're good. And that's the thing. I think once they were told, and internally by like Brian Birmingham and the other guys, the actual engineers on the project, like, no, we can do this. We can make WoW Classic work on the Battle.net platform with the modern client, and it will. Yeah, we can do it. It's not going to be overnight, but we can do this. And then they were like, okay, fine, let's do it. I think that was it, really.
Yeah.
And when they're told that it's possible, that then removes the objection.
Right.
I just, like I said, I don't know for how phishing is coded. I don't know for how trade skills and character data is polled, how easy it is to have apps on a phone that interact with the game, or how play nice, play fair is it if I don't have a smartphone. But hang on, I thought you all have phones, don't you? That we should be allowed to, have these tertiary experiences. Like I genuinely, again, just being a dad, I'd be up in the morning and loading up my companion app and sending my dudes on some quests, and it felt like, hey, this is cool. This is a way for me to interact with the game without having to split my focus or get a computer out or anything like that. I just kind of want more WoW experiences that are accessible on the phone.
Yeah, and that app, still exists for BFA, and people are.
And to be honest with you, if they did make a transmog app, I would end up using it, of course.
Of course you would. You'd be on the shitter all afternoon. You'd be on the shitter going, ooh, look at these shoulders. Ooh. That's
take a screenshot, send it to you. Hey, Scott, what do you think of these?
Yeah.
I was pooping when I made this.
You totally would be. All right. Before we get out of here, I want to thank that person for his email, first of all, and say to everyone else, you can send the emails to theinstance@gmail.com. I wanted to show something off here real quick. If we have that new instant support system, the new support loot stash, we call it, over at theinstance.net. And I got a couple of samples that have already been shipped out to people who did our first month. These are the membership cards you get exclusively every month, although these are going to be harder for the chat to see than you guys. Let me just do this because I'm on two cameras. Okay.
That's fine. We have to see. You show them.
Yeah, so there's that. It says next to it, the Instance Podcast Collectible Membership Card, April 2019. It's a picture of an orc that I drew, so some original art on there with a big old doom hammer. And then on the back, Garrett did these amazing Hearthstone card back looking backs to these things. They're beautiful, and every card has this. And they're rad. So I just wanted to point people to those. The new one is a level 1 level 1 troll to sort of celebrate the classic a little bit. And again, rad back on it. So these are just one of the things you can get by going and subscribing to our loot stash. And you can find that over at theinstance.net. Go check it out, read through them, see what one fits you, and decide how you would like to support your favorite podcast about World of Warcraft and Blizzard stuff. Do that today.
I like how you add that bit on the end. Why'd you have to add that bit on the end?
What bit?
Could just be a favorite podcast. Full stop.
It's true. Look. I don't want to assume anybody doesn't have a better show to listen to than ours, but hot damn, aren't we good? Plus, how long has this been now? What's the year we started? 2006, and we're still going. So what's this? 12? No.
It's 14 years.
Jeez Louise.
No, 13.
Well, 13.
13, almost 14. That's insanity.
And count. It's
come on.
You have to choose.
I can only count to 5, and then I'll do that 5 more times.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Nice.
And
I like
put
it.
the weights down.
Yeah.
I'm 32 years old. I started listening to The Instance when I was 18.
Yeah. Thinking
19 maybe?
think of it this way. I started the instance when I was 30. Was it 2006? I was 35 when I started the show. Think of that. Yeah, I'm old. Is
You're
what that
really
means.
old.
Yeah.
But you're a granddad now, so that's fine.
Hey,
in
Pat,
my head, it all makes sense.
I was just thinking.
So, like, you know,
Patrick,
you've always been a granddad.
Here's what Patrick needs to do for Classic. Patrick, we need to start getting segments from you where it's, hello, my name is Patrick, and this week's mod of the week. You gotta start it all over again.
Just use the old ones.
I didn't know you could mod World of Warcraft until I heard one of Patrick's segments on this show.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you go.
I was
That's
playing
amazing.
WoW with no mods, and then I heard this
Action
weird
boss, baby.
French dude. I'm sitting there in art college drawing a naked dude, and I hear this French guy come in my head, be like, "I am Patrick. This is the quest tracking app," and I'm like, "Oh my god, you can track quests! It tells you where it is." What?
Yep.
You blew my
It's
mind.
like, finish the ball peen, and then you can go mod your client. Come on.
I gotta I'll give you here's an old file from Patrick back in the day. Do I have it? Let's see. Here we go.
Bastion has a cock.
Nope, that's not. That's more newer. That's newer.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
I don't know why that's
Good
playing.
one.
Something else is playing. Anyway, before we go, anybody got anything cool to announce? Terpster busy as always with the Yogscast and all the stuff you guys are up
Yeah,
to.
nothing really. But yeah, cool.
All right.
Nice to be back.
Always check it out. Yogscast is everywhere and all
Yeah.
places at once, and Terpster's often right up in front. So do check out his fine work there.
It's my junk right there.
Patrick, anything of note you would like to mention this week?
I guess the Fittest Club. We did a new one yesterday with Tom Merritt, our good friend, and Garrett, a gentleman who is a Brexiter, and we had a perfectly cordial, friendly conversation about that, about abortion, about a number of other difficult topics, showing that it can indeed be done. So if you're interested in finding out how, just go to frenchspin.com and check out the Phileas Club. You'll find the spelling on the site and then subscribe in your podcast app because it's difficult to spell. That was
But it's, you know what does
In
though?
hindsight, it was a bad name to
It
pick.
was that, or I like to think it helps filter out the riffraff who can't spell anything. You know what I mean? Like maybe you don't
It
want
means
them
you can
listening.
have more liberal views. It's fine.
Well, we have very different views on very different things, and it's really I think an interesting show. So go check
it. It is really good. I highly recommend it. And also, Teresa May stepped down today, so May stepping down in May.
I might get the
smell
call at any
conspiracy.
time, Scott. We don't know.
Yeah.
They might look. We need you to lead.
Oh, that would be so epic.
Yeah.
But I'm a farmer now.
Yeah. Where's your family? Close by. Yeah. I didn't ask.
Followed you here?
Just because you're leveling in
the
Westfall
Brexiteers.
Terpster does not mean you are a farmer.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Level there at your own peril.
Menchie's feed pouch. I still use it.
Garrett, more, of course, from you on all things Hearthstone over at the Angry Chicken. Anything else going on this week that you'd like to mention?
Yeah, I'll be sitting down with Tom Merritt and Jenny Josephson to record a new episode of Let's Talk About Star Wars. We had to take the week off for some family business, but we're getting back on the weekly train for next week. So
Nice.
go subscribe to Let's Talk About Star Wars.
That sounds amazing.
Crap, I should do a show with Tom Merritt. Everyone's doing one with Tom Merritt. It's
right?
ridiculous.
I know.
Yeah.
It's
Wait,
insanity.
you're not?
Everybody,
No, I feel
look,
like-
Everybody Loves Tom is the name of the
Yeah.
show coming out with Patrick or with Terpster and Tom. Watch for it.
Yeah.
That's going to do it for
We
us.
talk about
Thank you
other
all.
Toms, though.
Thank you all for listening. If you want more shows like this, you can go to frogpants.com and, of course, theinstance.net for everything we're doing, including that support system I mentioned earlier. It means a lot to us, so thanks for your support. That's going to do it for us, for me, for Patrick, for Terpster, and for Garrett. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Yeah.
Boom.
That was great.
Don't say it like that.
Oh,
Fun show.
it's a little sexy.